He had clean dishes tattooed on his urinator. The first day he put an ad in the BAR. His ad stated, Buck, 6 foot 2 inches, furry haunches, thick neck, available at dawn and dusk, Monday through Friday, weekends negotiable. So good, you'll want to lick it clean. He then looked at his throwaway celly, expectantly waiting for calls. He waited exactly 6 minutes. The first caller asked, are you a receptive massage provider? Yes, as he was receptive to any questions. Do you go bareback? Buck questioned how bare this unknown caller's back might be. No. I have a thick gleaming coat and I have a luscious underfur of blonde and brown. The celly met silence. The next call Buck received was far more timid. Hi, master, the human said meekly. May I have your thick cock? Buck's urinator squirmed inside his tight Levi's. This was getting closer to the moneymaker. Yes, human, Buck stating his non-identifying anonymous moniker that seemed to cause some humans to get more complacent immediately. When, sir, may I come in? The caller meekly quivered. Sundown tonight is at 5:30. You may come over at 5. My donation is $200 United States. Buck wanted to be clear. And a $50 gift card from the buy right. Buck was no rube and knew that tipping was an antiquated, messy interaction that never cited to the worker. Yes, Master Buck, the meat caller simpered. He then proceeded to write down the address, and when asked about parking, Buck exploded in masterful rage. Excuse me, did I say you could drive that killing machine? No, you take the J car to Dolores Park and run to my flat, you flat-footed human. The meat caller stunned into silence. Yes, Master Buck. The fright of the suburbs, expectations coming to light. The man arrived at 5:30 exactly with money, expectation, and a gift card. He took one look at Buck's frame, highlighted by the setting sun, and fell to his knees. Buck kicked him into the room, leaving U-shaped hoof marks on his bare-haired ass. What is your name? Clark. Are you Clark Kent? Buck boomed. He had heard of this man before and wanted to make sure there was no deceptive transformations that would come to pass. No, Clark McMillan. Buck sighed relief as the other man had numerous stories about him. Clark had a large backpack with him and a smell-proof white bag with the red letters spelling Safeway. Buck thundered dominantly, What is in your bag, human? The man meekly stuttered, All the devices for you to fill me with. Buck was intrigued. As normally he received what devices he was to have on hoof, not the proactive human submissive with the hyperactive frontal lobe activity. The Clark unzipped the convivial tan backpack, and then the silver device was then pulled out by his delicate boned Korean rib-like fingers. The instrument clung to the bag as the metal inside was refusing to recede to its neat human grasp. This is a Sims anal scope. Buck heard all the words, then bellowed, Look down at that device and put your mouth on it. Buck was spending Clark's time gathering his dominant thoughts. Sir, may I show you how I like to be filled? Buck was now hoping for collusionary dominance and responded, yes, resoundingly. The human Clark brought out the white, crinkly Safeway bag. The room was suddenly overtaken with the smell of baked goodness. There was a 2-for-1 special of English muffins with a max of 4 baht. Clark looked pleased at the economy of decision. Buck watched the human tear into the bag, exposing 36 fork-split muffins. They feel so good in my ass. Buck saw that this human had much time alone and was in fact self-topping. You open-holed human, show me what you have done with this filthy English muffin. I put it inside of me with the anal sphincter clasped open to the widest notch. Buck turned his large neck to the window to hold his snout and laughing, dancing eyes to the window. I want every nook and cranny filled with lube like I see on the TV box interruptions. He was using all his consumer knowledge to give Clark the best personal service and provider he could be. The human laid out 12 fork-split muffins, opening them carefully with his rib-like fingers. Buck gave him 7 packets of lube to open, as tearing of lube packets was never hoof-friendly. Clark dripped the strawberry lube onto 3 muffins, then took the banana lube to the next 6. This left 3 unsullied by consumable lube. The last 3 have a special sauce. Please go on, Clark. Buck was letting the scene run without him. These are warm-inducing lube. Please put these on last. Yes, Buck demanded, words of intention, dissonance, and command. The all-human set himself up on the pillows and lubed the metal open device. Buck slipped on his latex hoof protection as tearing the muffins did not seem to be negotiated in the scene. Clark's human mouth was looking at the English muffins, inhaling the preserved goodness. Please, Master Buck, fill my nooks and crannies. The metal devices clicked open and left an empty space in the human void of flesh. Buck turned on this pencil-thin light as every piece or tissue was to be filled. Clark started baking, becoming more and more annoyingly human. I don't want to hear another sound or I will toast every muffin to crispy. Think of those crumbly edges on that pink receptive tissue. The Clark fell silent. Buck turned to the anal scope. His hooves stumbled on every smooth metal handle. Buck decided to fill the room with hygiene safety. Human, get off your knees and stand in the corner. The human, bleak upon rejection of full view of his master, stumbled to the corner next to the door. Buck took the moment of dominant disappearance to gather the thickly padded scent chucks collected from the shelves. Buck threw the disposable white squares throughout the room. The urge of ass desire can become entangled with every surface, and Buck was sure that the after cleaning to be short event, not double work time. The human Clark turned his head to see Buck throw the last white pad down. Turn around and put your fingers near your hole and pull that tender flesh apart. Clark Kent clearly enjoyed anal arousal, slipped his fingers inside his hole, sullying his hands for further back tactile engagement. Buck took the anal scope of the hospital spell became everywhere in his nostrils. I cleaned it with alcohol, the coroner reported. It looks lickable clean, the inspection continued. The device would be slippery with the best of digits, yet a hoof the anal scoop would clearly mock. Buck spoke to the coroner. Over here, Clark. The human walked over with the reverence of the unfilled. Get on your knees in the white square. Do not move off the square, or your fluids will leak under the carpet. Buck bellowed. No one marks my room except me. He cooked the human for emphasis. The human went to his innate animal self, crawled to Buck's furry haunches. Buck's urinator strengthened and leaked, marking the Clark's open face. Thank you, sir. May I have more of you? Buck was orderly in his human-formatted workplace. Turn around. The Clark turned to look at the mirrored wall, and his blue eyes captured the beauty of Buck's antlers, thick neck, heavy haunches, with his urinator gleaming brown under his blonde underfur. We look like a National Geographic magazine. Buck knew that he was seen and fetishized, and therefore another tip was assured, as well as a pleasurable outcome. Buck returned to the English muffins and read aloud from the bag. Toast up your morning. The last 3 I will place in your hole will be toasty indeed, Buck said, thinking about the warming lube. Buck's hooves clanged and slipped on the anal opening. The perceived confidence was slipping from his hooves due to a smooth metal nature of a modern medical equipment. Give me your dirty digits, human. The man reached around, holding his hands expectantly, and Buck tossed the slippery object into the man's articulated, grippy hand. Slide that in your ass, and if I find a show of delight, I will reward you with my tarsal glands. The human closed his eyes and gently let his pink flesh engulf the object as it slid in. I am ready, sir. Buck knew that 40 minutes had passed, and the next 20 was the final topping of presentation. Buck used his hooves to click open the scope. It clicked 1.7 inches, or about 8 muffins, Buck decided. The man's open mouth, hopeful for Buck's promised reward. Buck took a lube muffin and with a strawberry taste pushed in the man's public pink hole. I want every hole of yours to be an equal opportunity imbiber. The man chewed the strawberry lube untoasted muffin, his pink furless tube growing hard with the mastication of personal desire. Buck returned to the private, usually output-only end. The muffins were slowly becoming soggy, yet not crumbling into dough balls. Lube, unlike butter, has tensile crumb cohesion. The next 6 banana-flavored muffins were quickly inserted into the man's self-giving, a fruity odor to the ardor of the task. His ass started looking full to the brim, and Buck then started collapsing the next 3 muffins onto themselves. Clark looked up in an upheaval of desire. The warming lube was then brought from Buck's clutter bag. I will top you up all toasty. The Clark quivered in anticipation. The lube had flipped top to Buck's delight, and suddenly the warming lube was creating a hot comet of delight. Buck placed the streaking comet into the opening of the scope. The man groaned in replete pleasure. I want you to stroke your cock, muffin hands. Buck was now completely overwhelmed with additional kitchen scenes. The groaning and choking of met desires filled the room as long, viscous fluids dropped from the man's furless tube onto the white pillow squares. The muffin and scope looked forlorn in the pink hole of use. Clark, unclick the scope with your well-articulated fingers. Clark did what he was told. The muffin started falling out of the scope as it fell out of Clark's pink hole, the weight of the handles pulling it downwards. Buck snapped on the condoms on his hose. If you would like to clean up, there's city water in the bathroom. No, sir. I want all the scent of you on me. Buck knew he had a regular. The clerk collected his bag, carefully using the Safeway bag to encase the metal object. Do you want the unopened packages of muffins, sir? Clark asked. No, human. That is your desire to hold on to, as I can smell the baked goodness of authentic desire without a 2-for-1 sale.